Good. We will discuss major components of industrial robot and different specifications of the robot because in the morning our lecture got disconnected. There the components of the robot, industrial robot are divided into three subsystems. First is motion subsystem in which actuators, end effectors, joints and links are there. Next is recognition system. In recognition system, sensors of vision, audio, distance, pressure, etc. And third is the control subsystem in which power supply, controller, software, central processing unit. Therefore, the all parts of the robot are divided into these three subsystems, that is motion subsystem, recognition and control subsystem. Now we'll discuss it one by one. Now in case of motion subsystem, already it is written here actuator. Actuator means driver. It consists of different types of motors or hydraulic, pneumatic and electric drivers. End effector is nothing but this gripper. Then joints and links, these are the links, these are the joints. Then recognition subsystem, vision, this is the vision sensor, means camera is there. Audio or distance or pressure, different sensors are there. Then control system consists of power supply, controller software and central processing unit, that is CPU. Now we'll discuss one by one. Power supply. Just like human beings consume food when they need energy, robots need energy to function as well. Most of the robots receive their power from electricity. Then stationary robots like those in factories receive direct power just like any other appliance. Mobile robots typically sport high capacity batteries. Therefore, the function of the power supply is to provide energy or power to the robot for doing certain operations or functions for what robot is intended. Therefore, different types of power supplies are there. Battery, then DC power supply, AC power supply, servo motors are there, then hydraulic actuation is there, pneumatic actuation is there. Robotic probes and satellites are generally equipped with solar panels for harvesting energy from the sun. Sometimes these solar panels or solar energy also used for the robot. Now you are knowing Mars mission, that USA, United States of America or America simply, they have sent one robot or pathfinder on the Mars, means Mangalyaan. Therefore, now it has been sent before 2 to 3 years ago. Now you may be thinking that how that robot or how that pathfinder is running, which source of energy is there. Therefore, for that pathfinder, this s- solar panels are fitted so that it absorbs that sun rays or solar energy stored in that solar panels, and afterwards it is used in the night. Therefore, satellites, you are also thinking that how these satellites are moving or orbiting around the earth. Therefore, for them also these solar panels are there. During daytime they are storing the energy from sunrise, and during night that energy used for continuing the operations. Therefore, satellites on that robotic pathfinder, they are equipped with solar panels for harvesting energy from the sun. Therefore, these are the different types of power supplies. Now next, central processing unit. Now central processing unit, you are knowing that it is nothing but brain. It is nothing but brain. The central processing unit acts as the brain of the robot. In other words, a CPU is the robot component that provides feedback to outside stimulus. All organisms function and survive by using feedback. It's what causes us to whip our hand away after we have touched a hot stove. The CPU in a robot takes in environmental data using sensors and then calls on its programming to perform the appropriate action. Now, next is program. A robot's programming isn't a physical component, but it's still an essential part of the whole. Each of the components of robots either take in stimulus or provide a form of feedback. The program within a robot provides the logic that drives these behaviors, including if this then that functionality like in smartphones and smart homes. Robots contain logic trees that gather and analyze tasks and environmental data and then choose an appropriate response based on that stimulus. For example, if a robot approaches a steep drop off, it will back away automatically. A robotic probe exploring another world may activate a different tool depending on what its cameras and sensors detect around it. Next is sensors. Sensors are the powerhouse of a robot's feedback mechanism. They act like eyes and ears to help the robot take in information about its surroundings. Now you are knowing that in vehicles also, that is Ford Endeavor or Toyota vehicles, where high-end vehicles are there, Mercedes. In these vehicles, sensors are there. Robots typically incorporate a wide range of sensor types to help them perform their work. These include light sensors, sound sensors, temperature sensors, contact sensors, proximity sensors, distance sensors, pressure sensors, positioning sensors. Therefore, these are the different sensors in which means these are used in robots. Now you are knowing that driverless car concept is there. The driverless car concept, it is same as that of the robot. Means it is the robot car only. You can call it as the robot car. In the driverless car, all these sensors are fitted so that and program is also fitted. That is between two cities. If that driverless car has to run, therefore that program has also been fitted. Therefore, anyone if suppose passing on the road, the driverless car senses maybe animal is there, maybe human being is there, anything. Therefore, automatically that car is going to stop at a certain distance from that before that obstacle. Means that is nothing but one type of robotic car, or we can call it as driverless car. In the driverless car, all the sensors are included. Then actuators. If sensors are the eyes and ears of the robot, its actuators function like muscles. Actuators are small motors attached directly to the structure of the robot that facilitate movement. Some of the most common types include hydraulic, uses oil to facilitate movement; pneumatic, uses air to facilitate movement; electric, uses current and magnets to facilitate movement. Some of the simplest robots consist of little more than an arm, an actuator, and a tool for performing work. More complex robots may use actuators to kick treads, wheels, or even legs into motion. When robots are deployed to complete delicate tasks that require fineness and accuracy, stepper motors are used to achieve. movement in specific intervals with repeatability. Use of stepper motors is one of the reasons why robotic assembly took off in such a huge way in the 1960s and never slowed down. Now, end effectors, it is also known as grippers. The terms effector and end effector are sometimes used interchangeably. Both terms refer to the tools aboard the robot, that is, the tools that perform the actual work and interact with the environment or a workpiece. Factory robots may feature end effectors such as welding torches, screwdrivers, rivet guns, and paint sprayers. All these robots applications are there. We are going to see it afterwards during in next lecture in videos. Mobile robots usually have manipulators and grippers for lifting objects or disposing of dangerous ordnance. Robots like those dispatched to other planets may carry shovels, drills, hammers, cameras, lights, and other analytical implements. From simple to complex, effectors allow robots to carry out their specific tasks with precision. Now, robot specifications. First is access. A robot axis represents a degree of freedom. A degree of freedom determines an independent motion of the robot. The more access a robot has, the more flexibility or movement it will be capable of. Most industrial robots have between 3 to 7 axes. It is important to consider the number of axes when selecting an industrial robot as it will determine its range of motion. 6 axis robots tend to be the most common since they have a high level of flexibility, making them capable of performing complex applications. More simple applications may require less range of motion, which is why the 4 axis Fanuc M410 IC/185 is popular for basic robotic palletizing tasks. Next is payload. Payload capacity represents the maximum amount of weight a robot arm can tolerate. Robotic payload is typically expressed in kilograms. Payload varies greatly among industrial robots, that is from zero point 0.5 kg to over 1000 kg. Considering the workpieces as well as the weight of any end effectors integrated with the robot will help guide you to selecting a robot with an appropriate payload capacity. For instance, if your application involves palletizing boxes, the Fanuc R2000IB/125L would be an ideal option with its heavy lifting capabilities. Next is repeatability. It is also known as precision. Repeatability references a robot's ability to return to the exact same position over and over. In other words, it defines how precise a robot may be. Repeatability is expressed in millimeters plus or minus the point of alteration to determine the robot's margin of error. The Fanuc M20IA has a repeatability of plus or minus 0.08 mm. This means its arm will fall within 0.08 mm of the programmed position with each cycle run. Now reach. A robot's reach may be broken down into two types. First is vertical and second is horizontal. Vertical reach determines the maximum height a robot arm can obtain when extended upward from its base. Horizontal reach defines the maximum distance obtained from the center of the robot base to its wrist. A robot's reach can determine the scope of its work envelope. Robot mass. Robot mass is the weight of a robot. It is usually expressed in kilograms and references the weight of the robotic manipulator only. This can be important to consider if you are looking to mount a robot on a shelf, table, or overhead. Now, structure. Structure refers to the type of robot. There are many types of industrial robots, with the most common including articulated, delta, SCARA, and gantry. Gantry robot means crane type robot. This specification is important because it determines a robot's work envelope and functionality. Articulated robots are generally the most common used in welding automation and robotic assembly. Now we'll see this website in which how the robots are specified. First of all, we'll see one example is there. See that this is the front view of this robot. It consists of different dimensions, vertical dimension as well as horizontal dimensions. See that is total vertical this horizontal reach is 2463 mm. That is from center. One side it is maybe 1232 mm. On other side 1232 mm. These are the dimensions. This is the angle through which this arm can rotate. This is the top view. From the top view, you are observing that maximum radius the robot arm reaches. If you will add end effector to that, it is nothing but radius of 1530 mm. This radius of this circle is 1412 mm. Angle is from center line to towards upper side is it is minus 155, or maybe you can consider it as anti-clockwise angle, it is minus 155. Anti-clockwise they have taken negative, and clockwise they have considered it as positive, that is 155 degree. Now we'll see these robot specifications. Afterwards we'll visit that website. See that this is the robot manufactured by this Kuka company, KUKA. It is that name is written on this robot arm. This is wrist, this is gripper, same as that of our hand. Our hand is also wrist, it is also having finger. Finger is nothing but gripper. Always remember, another word to the finger is nothing but gripper or end effector. These are the motors used to drive this robot. See that type KR5 arc, maximum reach 1411 mm, rated payload 5 kg, supply load arm slash link arm slash rotating column it is 12 to 20 kg, supply load arm plus link arm maximum they have not provided, then maximum total load 37 kg, number of axes 6, mounting position floor or ceiling. Floor means now this robot is mounted on floor. You can make it inverted and you can clamp it or fix it on the ceiling. Then variant, there are no variant or different types, no types are there. Positional repeatability, it is plus minus 0.04 mm. Then controller KRC2 edition 2005, weight excluding controller approximately 127 kg. Temperature during operation plus 10 degrees Celsius to plus 55 degrees Celsius. protection classification, IP54, IP65 inline wrist, which this IP address is there. Robot footprint 324 mm into 324 mm. Connection, this robot requires a connection of 7.3 kilovolt ampere, and its noise level, that is when this robot is going to do operation or function, some noise is generated, that noise level is less than 75 decibels. It is nothing but dB. Therefore, these are the typical specifications of one robot. Now, similar types of specifications we will see of different robots on the in this website. Therefore, I will open that website. Okay, now you are observing one website. This Yaskawa. It is nothing but one company is there which is manufacturing these different types of industrial robots. This is Delta robot. See here. I am going to show you it afterwards. I will see the different specifications. Hmm? See that. First of all, I will read this. Industrial robotic arms. This introduction. Our industry leading Motoman industrial robots include high payload, high speed, extended reach, ultra maneuverable 7 axis and unique 15 axis dual arm robots with cutting edge controllers, vision systems, peripherals, and other best in class components. We can configure a solution tailored for your manufacturing needs. Use the criteria below to help you find the right robotic arm for your industrial application according to your required payload and reach specifications. Each model is compatible with one or more robot controller models, enabling you to program and control tasks of a single robot or coordinate multiple robots. You can also view our robot catalog to see side by side comparisons. Now, you just see, first of all, this EP series is there. Now, you see that specification, this robot EP series EP4000D, EPH130RLD, EPH4000D. Now specifications, it has been written payload 200 kg means this robot can carry a maximum load of 200 kg. Vertical reach, that is how much maximum vertical distance this robot arm can travel. It is nothing but it depends upon different types of configurations. For this EP4000D, it is 2614 mm and horizontal reach 3505 mm. If you will select this EPH130RLD, payload is 130 kg, vertical reach 4151 mm, horizontal reach 3474 mm. Again, now this same is there, I think. EPH4000D, payload 200 kg, vertical reach 2629 mm, and horizontal reach 3505 mm. Now, this robot, GP series. Now, GP4, its payload is 4 kg, vertical reach 1008 mm, horizontal reach 550 mm. Hmm? Therefore, as the number increases, you are observing that this payload also increases. Payload and this vertical reach and horizontal reach also increases. Hmm? Payload vertical reach 36492010. Now GP35, payload 35, GP50, I think it is series means this according to payload this capacity is there. GP50 means 50 kg load, GP88 means 80 kg payload, 100 and GP110 110 kg payload. This vertical and horizontal distance that will vary. Therefore, this is nothing but GP series. Now next, this HC series. This HC series. See that only two series are there. HC10XP payload 10 kg, vertical reach 1200 mm, horizontal reach 1200 mm. Then HC20XP payload 20 kg, vertical reach 1700, horizontal reach 1700. Then next this HP series. HP20-80 payload 20 kg, vertical reach 3063 mm, horizontal reach 1717 mm. Then Moto mini series. Payload 0.5 kg, vertical reach 495 mm, horizontal reach 350 mm. Then this PH series, PH 130 RF, payload 130 kg, vertical reach 4151 mm, horizontal reach 3474 mm. And PH 200 RF, payload 200 kg, vertical reach 2629 mm, horizontal reach 3505 mm. Means these are the different specifications of the robots, different robots. Hmm? See that this is SDA series. It is just looks like a human. Only head is not there. See that these all robots are used for assembly and handling operations. Now next is for welding and cutting operations. These robots are used. Hmm? AR series, HC welding series, MA series, MC series. See that here written here. Payload 50 kg, vertical is 3161, horizontal is 2038 mm. Then next is MS series, SP series. Now for packaging and palletizing means for different applications, different robots are there, and for them different specifications are there. Now this is the third application, packaging and palletizing. See that packaging, if you will see here payload is 2 kg only. Here 5 kg. Means for packaging that much force is not required. That's why its payload is less. See that this is very big robot. Its payload is of maximum it is up to 800 kg. This is Delta robot. Payload is 3 kg. Here also 3 kg. See that this is the Delta robot MPP series. Again here MYS series. These different specifications. PL series. These different specifications. Now for painting and dispensing. This is the fourth application of the robot, painting and dispensing, for which these different types of robots are used with different series. They are having different specifications. EPX series, MHP series specifications are written. MPX series. Therefore, these are nothing but robots used for different applications are and having different specifications. Now the name of the company is Yasakawa. We can see another company also, Yamaha robots. See that this Yamaha company is there. We are driving its two wheeler also. Different robots are there. See that this Yamaha's robots. Hmm. We introduce the development history and the struggles of Yamaha industrial robots. Videos of exhibitions and demo models are also provided. It is there in Japan. I will play some videos. First of all, we'll see in transport. See that how robots are used for transporting. These blocks are there. This is the end effector. This part is known as end effector. This is known as arm. Now this is for assembly. See that this high throughput assembly line Yamaha PS speedometer assembly. See that this assembly line is there. These all robots are there, which are carrying out different operations at each station. See that this here also one operation is there. Here another operation is there. See that how different operations are carried out. Then we will see here tightening screws or drilling or pick and place will go. See that this pick and place. Pick means what? In Marathi it is known as uchalne. Place means ठेवणे. Pick and place robot. See that here it is picking and here it is placing. This is the robot. See that. Now this is known as magnetic gripper that we are going to study. Here magnet is there, that's why it is picking and placing it at fast. Then again this Kara robot orbit type high speed palletizing equipment. Just see what it is doing. It is placing these small blocks in this green color block, and then again it is transferring to other two black pallets. Palletizing operation. Then we'll see tightening of screws and drilling operation carried out by robot. See here, this robot arm is coming now. It is drilling, or it may be screwing or tightening the nut screws. This is drilling and this is tightening, I screwing the screws. Now we'll go to next application, sealing. Sealing means to apply gum and seal. I'll start it again. See that this robot or this arm, they have taken this gum and they are applying on this surface, means for sealing purpose robots are used. See here now, see that it is applying that gum. Then next application, conveyor tracking or image processing will go. See that how robot is used for image processing applications. Circuit board inspection equipment, dual drive function allows synchronized control. It consists of vision sensor. This light is nothing but due to vision sensor. Now robot is used for another application. Last application I will show you. Conveyor tracking. How robots are used for conveyor tracking. See this conveyor. These small parts are moving along this conveyor, and this robotic arm puts or take out these parts on the conveyor. This is the conveyor. I think all applications are over now. If possible, I will show you another robot, Unimate. It is the company of robot manufacturing which manufactures these robots, or we will write here Kawasaki or ABB. See this ABB. ABB Robotics is a pioneer in robotics, machine automation, and digital services, providing innovative solutions for a diverse range of industries. Is a Swedish Swiss multinational corporation headquartered in Zurich, Switzerland, operating mainly in robotics, power, heavy electrical equipment, and automation technology areas. See that this ABB Robotics. I will show you this collaborative robots. See that this collaborative robot. Collaborative means what? When work is done with the help of another person or by taking help of another person, that is known as collaborative robot. Now this man or woman is working along with this robot. That's why it is known as collaborative robot. Now see this robot. Okay, see this robot. It is used to tighten the cap on the bottle. See this. Means robot is generally used for repetitive applications. but program is required to do all these operations. Remember, we have to develop one program, so that is we have to feed that program in the robot's CPU or maybe in the computer, so that it will do all these repetitive applications. See that how robots are used in hospitals. Location: Karolinska University Laboratory. ये रोका है? आवाज येत नाही. Okay, this robot you just observed, that is nothing but this collaborative robot. Afterwards, we are going to see it. Now we will stop here. Thank you very much. Please enter your roll numbers. Thank you very much.